Alrighty, welcome to Fire Emblem 3 Houses, where we're gonna do a few of the Golden Deer supports. Actually, we're gonna do all of Claude's supports. So yeah, well, his C support. Support conversations.
This looks like an ideal place to take a nap. Only one way to know for sure. And there's a nice breeze today, too.
Claude?
Huh?
Why are you taking a sleep on the ground, Claude?
Is that Petra? Where are you? Were you up in that tree the whole time? I couldn't feel your presence at all. Amazing.
It is safe to take sleep in the tree's top. Why would you choose the dangerous ground instead?
Your logic is sound, I'll give you that. But how is one supposed to get up there without losing the sleepies from the effort?
I do not know what is meant by the sleepies, but getting in the tree's top is easy. And you will be using all of your energy, so that good sleep will find you up in the tree.
I see. That makes a certain kind of sense. But it's not as relaxing as a good ground sleep.
Give it some trying. And do not think with too much hardness when you return to the ground. feel it. If you stop for thinking, your arms will get heavy.
That is way more thought than I'd hoped to give this nap of mine. But I'm not one to give up before even trying. Here goes nothing. I can do this.
I have not known a noble here who can climb trees. Is this a weakness of Fodlan nobles?
No, not a weakness. How do I? Yeah!
You should be quitting. It is a danger to be falling from such a height.
I think that's enough for today. This might sound like an excuse, but we don't have a lot of tall trees where I grew up. This is all new to me.
You should take your sleep on the ground. I will take mine in the tree.
You won that round, tree.
C plus time.
Hey there, Petra.
Claude? Where are you?
Where else? Wait, I'll meet you down there.
Claude, I thought you were not able to climb the trees.
True, and that is exactly why I worked like a madman to devise a new climbing technique.
I have much admiration for that. To climb is a skill with value.
What can I say? Okay, so I may have cheated a little by using my bow to shoot a rope over a branch. A few branches, or all of the branches. But once I got up there and hauled up the ropes, it was the same result as if I climbed it your way.
I am understanding. That costs more time though, so it is not the best thing for hunting. But you are not harming the tree, so that is an advantage. I am liking this technique.
You're right. I didn't harm the tree at all. I'm surprised that impressed you.
The tree has a spirit. If you hurt the tree, you will give its spirit anger.
I see. I take it the people of Bridget have a close relationship with nature, then?
Trees give us food and also shelter. We are needing them, and they are needing us.
True. The people of Fodlan believe everything is a blessing from the goddess. They've forgotten to be grateful to nature, too. Nature gives us life, sustains us. Without it, we couldn't breathe, couldn't live. It's everything. It's fine to pray to the goddess, but we have to respect nature, too. Don't you think?
Yes. I do not know this goddess, but I know nature. That is the knowing I prefer to have.
You and me both.
Creep, Betty, creep.
Huh?
Living in a land that's stuck and blinded by the frigid cold, creeping through the loneliness from ages untold. In your heart you're desperate for the sweet embrace of light, pushing through and crawling with all of your might. Here, creepy, creepy, creepity, creep. Now, creepy, creepy, creepity, creep. Oh, Claude, you weren't, watching me, were you?
He was.
I saw the whole ritual, yes. You have a gift in that. I could watch that all day. In fact, I just might.
Claude! Can you please forget you saw that? I was just making up a silly song to pass the time while watering the plants.
Sure. It could be my secret serenade, if you so please. But tell me, you were born in Fargus, right?
Yes, that's right.
I thought so. You're really talented, you know. It's been a while since I heard a song like that. One that stirs me to my very soul.
Soul stirring? My creepity creep song? I think that's a bit of an exaggeration.
I never, ever exaggerate. In fact, it reminded me of rituals we have back where I grew up. We'd gather around a blazing fire and spend the whole night caught up in song and dance. Not unlike what you just demonstrated. Really, the dance I'm thinking of is exactly like the one you just did. We'd scream like beasts and then jump up and roll around. It's freeing, isn't it?
Scream? Like a beast? That is not what I was doing! And what's this weird ritual you're talking about?
Even better than your angelic voice were your lyrics. I can't even begin to fathom the deep meaning they contain, but maybe if we talk about it...
Deep meaning? No. Just... no.
Oh, I get it. It's the sort of thing you have to figure out for yourself. Okay, don't tell me. Give me time. I'll work it out.
Work what out?
Oh, have you already watered the plants? Sorry, I'm just realizing it was supposed to be my turn this week.
No, it's fine. Really.
Okay, see you later then. Creep, Betty, creep.
He is not gonna let this go, is he?
It's Claude. Ingrid. Oh, hey. Then we'll be in the Golden Deer area.
Why?
What's on your mind, Ingrid? Actually, if it's something troublesome, can you wait a bit? I'm positively exhausted today, so I was gonna turn in early. Don't you try to stop me, you hear?
The sun just barely dipped below the horizon, yet you're already preparing for bed?
Rising with the dawn and setting with the sun. Isn't that how a life is meant to be lived?
I'm almost certain you've never been awake at sunrise, Claude.
How would you know that? You haven't been peeking into my room every morning, right? I'll have you know I like to rise early for my daily meditation.
Sure. And I've decided to quit my pursuit of knighthood. At least try to make your excuses more believable. And that yawn just now. You didn't even bother covering your gaping mouth. One would never know your noble birth with how you conduct yourself.
You need to relax, Ingrid. Deep breaths, okay? A yawn can't hurt, I swear. Really, you better get a hold on that attitude of yours. Otherwise, that pretty face is gonna get all twisted up with angry lines. Guys don't like gals who are always griping at them. Try a smile every now and then. Here, let's practice. On three. 1, 2, 3.
You're actually telling me to smile more, aren't you? How common? Since you're so insistent upon telling me what my face should be doing, perhaps my blade can restructure your face with a more permanent smile. All jokes aside, are you not house leader? As a leader, you should set a shining example. A position such as yours comes with responsibilities. See that you consider them more carefully in the future.
Yeesh.
And just how long do you plan on lounging about yawning like a slob? At least lounge in your own quarters.
Okay.
Honestly, some people.
Wow, somebody needs to teach that girl to lighten up.
Ow.
You. Just what are you up to?
Well, if it isn't Lawrence.
Yes, it is. Try not to sound so affronted. And you're just whimsically wandering the monastery grounds again, I suppose?
Oh, naturally. After all, I really do adore the Garrett Monastery.
No, I think not. That impish look on your face does not suggest innocence. You are up to something.
Lawrence, control yourself. Let's not start throwing around baseless accusations. It's not proper. This monastery is packed with 1,000 years of history. Well, 5 years shy of 1,000 if we're going for accuracy. Those pillars, these walls, even the floor, they've all seen more than we can possibly imagine. Our distant ancestors may have walked these very halls. Doesn't that excite you?
Perhaps if this were a discussion about art, but I'm afraid walls and floors are not sufficiently interesting to hold my attention. Nor will they suffice to distract me from what is plainly suspicious about you. House Regan was on the brink of collapse until they suddenly revealed you as their legitimate heir. That was only a year ago. Where were you before then? Are you even a true heir to House Regan?
If I weren't truly of House Regan descent, how do you imagine I acquired my crest?
A crest is insufficient. I am referring to your noble disposition or lack thereof.
Well, that's what I came here to hone, after all. I can only hope that you will assent to instruct me in the art of snobbery, Professor Lawrence.
I do not think you grasp the significance of the responsibility you bear. Do you even know what it means to lead the Leicester Alliance? I take no pleasure in saying this, but much of the chaos in our ranks right now is due to the failings of House Regan's leadership. I intend to set things right, and once I expose you for the fraud you are and reclaim my rightful place, that is precisely what I will do. To be blunt, it would have been better had you never shown your face here.
Sheesh, that guy. He just can't be reasoned with.
Yeah, you're right. Raphael!
There we go. Time for a break. Hey, Raphael, that's quite a load you've got there.
It was my turn to do the shopping again, but I might have overdone it.
Aren't those trips usually for food supplies? Why did you pick up a bunch of spears and gauntlets as well?
I was passing by the smithy. The old man called me over. He said he was finished repairing the training weapons, so I grabbed them since I was already there.
I see. And those books?
I had just left the smithy when I ran into a merchant I recognized. He said he had some books that he brought for the library, so I took them off his hands.
Right. And that desk?
Oh, this? Can you believe someone threw this away? It only needs a little work and it'll be good as new. Someone around here was just saying that they needed a desk.
Of course. Now, this is just a friendly observation, but I see surprisingly little of the food supplies that we actually need.
Well, I worked up an appetite from carrying all this stuff, so I had a snack on my way back.
Raphael, I appreciate the thought, but you can't get so carried away with helping out like that. You helped us all right out of dinner. And now that I've seen your struggle, I have no choice but to join in this vicious cycle of charity. Here, I'll lend you a hand.
All of this stuff is pretty heavy. Are you sure you can handle it?
You insult me. And no, I can't. I'll only carry the books and offer my support as you handle the rest.
There's Claude for ya! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, Ignat.
Claude, why didn't you say anything? You were praying so fervently, I didn't want to interrupt.
I appreciate the sentiment, but I wasn't praying.
No? What then?
I was just thinking about the goddess.
Were you now? Fascinating. Please, go on.
Not here. Let's go somewhere else.
So, you were pondering the existence of the goddess then?
Yes. All right, consider this. The archives here have all kinds of texts about the goddess, right? But when people tell stories of the goddess, it's only myths and legends that glorify her.
They probably hope to rake in more followers by glorifying the goddess as much as possible. That would be why the church tends to quietly shove all of their more questionable records under some secret rug somewhere.
Claude, don't put words in my mouth. That's not what I said. I was just wondering what the goddess looks like. That's the kind of thing I like to think about.
What the goddess looks like? Well, I suppose if she really exists, she probably looks a lot like us. In fact, she probably wouldn't be so different from that old woman working here in the dining hall.
What? Claude, please stop. The goddess I imagine is absolutely beautiful.
How rude of you, Ignatz. I'm sure that old woman was lovely back in her day.
Loving it. The nuke, the living nuke.
Ah, so I see. If one were to combine this incantation method with the power of a crest, then in theory, it should...
Hey there. Still studying, are we? Isn't it past your bedtime?
Claude, I really don't appreciate you interrupting me right now.
But if you don't get your sleep, you're never gonna grow big and strong.
Uh-huh. The last thing I need is you fretting over me as though I'm some child. I'm only a few years younger than you know. Hardly worth noting. Furthermore, my grades in magic and basically every other subject are far higher than yours.
Whoa there. I'm not trying to treat you like a child, I promise. This is me treating you like a princess. Now, come along, princess. Brush your teeth and get yourself ready for bed. I can read you a story if that helps.
Ah, the audacity! Whatever it is you think you're treating me like, it's unendingly annoying.
If a child and a princess are out, what's left? Should I treat you as a noble hero? Draw your sword, Lysithea. If you wish to continue studying, you must first defeat me in battle. Come now, face me like the hero of legend that you are.
I find myself speechless in the wake of your staggering ignorance. Now, please, leave me be.
Okay, I can take a hint. But in all seriousness, you shouldn't neglect your sleep. You'll fall ill if you push yourself too hard. Oh, and just so you know, I heard a rumor that this library is haunted. It's probably not true, right? Right. Anyhow, I'm off to bed. Good night.
You know, I am suddenly rather sleepy. Excuse me while I see myself out.
No matter how she tries to hide it, she's still a young girl at heart.
Claude is a troll.
Claude?
Oh, Marianne. Have the gods taken pity on my lost soul and revealed a sign to me? I've been researching the 10 elites in Fodlan, but I can't tell fact from fiction. Anyhow, what can I help you with?
Well, I found this pendant, and I think it's yours.
Ah, right you are. Yeah, honestly, I've resigned myself to never seeing it again. It's a keepsake from my uncle, who has passed on. If I truly lost it, my grandfather would have had my head. Thanks for returning it to me, Marianne. You saved my tail.
Please, it was nothing. I should be...
No, I think that's enough researching for today. Why don't you join me for a nice chat?
I just came to deliver the pendant.
Sounds awfully lonely to only talk to those whom you have business with. Do you really dislike talking to people that much?
It's just... I never know what to say. I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. We'll figure it out as we go. Tell me, are you like this with your father too? Within the Alliance, Margrave Edmund is prone to debate. With a father like that, I would have thought...
Margrave Edmund is my adoptive father.
Oh, is he? I didn't know. Where were you born?
That is none of your concern. I really must be going.
She's hiding something, that much is clear. Ah, but that just makes me all the more desperate to know her secrets.
I don't blame you. Up, Hilda, Leonie. Oh, yay!
Are you actually reading, Hilda? I thought you hated studying.
Oh, hush. It's just a letter from my brother. He sends them all the time.
Your brother, huh? Isn't he known as a great general of the Alliance? A true beacon of...
Don't even start. That's got nothing to do with me.
Uh-oh, better not let your brother hear you say that. Could break his fraternal heart. But all joking aside, it sounds like he really cares for you.
You can say that again. He must be rather bored, too, now that the situation in Elmira has settled down.
Ah, the Elmirans, the Eastern Menace, as they're often called. I did hear your brother had fought them a number of times. In fact, I hear he's even gone toe-to-toe with Nadir, the great Elmiran warrior.
Nadir, the undefeated, was it? Just another grizzled old man as far as I'm concerned. But my father was ecstatic when he heard my brother had defeated him. He paraded my brother all over our territory. What a pain that must have been for our people.
A pain? Any celebration is something to be enjoyed. Celebration puts smiles on faces faster than anything. I'm sure even you at least congratulated him, right? A smile from you would surely mean the world to your brother.
Well, sure. Then he got all worked up and started saying things like, I am the protector of Fodlan.
That's not far from the truth, you know. Why do you think the Elmirans have been so quiet lately? They're wary of your brother. If House Goneril of the Border were a bunch of weaklings, the Almirans would have invaded Foden a long time.
You talk about it as though you've spoken to the Almirans yourself.
Well, I am heir to the leading house of the Alliance. I'm privy to all kinds of information, whether I like it or not.
You act so nonchalant about your studies, but you know so much about politics and history. You're a hard guy to grasp, you know that, Claude?
Oh, I disagree. I'd let you grasp me any day. My hand, my heart, even my neck. But if you want to know all of my secrets, you'll have to bear yours as well.
That is actually pretty sweet. Ah yes, Leonie's turn.
Is the water supposed to be this cold? God, my hand slipped again. Hey, what's that noise? What are you doing? Sorry, I'm sorry, okay? Another fine mess I've gotten myself into.
What happened, Claude? You're soaked.
The student whose turn it was to do the dishes today was ill, so I volunteered to take his place. The dining hall lady was on my case the whole time for breaking plates and getting water everywhere. Actually, not everywhere, mostly on myself. It was just one big mess. It wore me right out, too. I could really use a nap about now.
You might be a noble with a fancy bloodline, but you sure don't act the part.
Being noble or common doesn't have anything to do with washing dishes.
Ho, I dare say most nobles would refuse to do it. But hey, I prefer it your way. You don't act like you're better than everyone.
I'm honored that you acknowledge my greatness.
Because he's not.
And I'm rather fond of your blunt way of praising a person's strengths, too.
Really? To be honest, I don't actually trust my own ability to read people. I like to look for the good in them, but that doesn't always mean it's really there. I mean, you seem like a good person, but your heart could be black for all I know.
You say you can't figure people out, but what you said just now was pretty shrewd. It's wise not to trust appearances alone.
I'll keep that in mind. Though, I'm not sure I should be taking advice from someone covered in dish suds.
Ah, yeah, I see your point.
Oh, so just 3 more supports. Sling through and
As expected, I am not finding anything at all.
Flame, are you looking for something in particular?
Oh, I was just hoping for general reading that might illustrate the lives of city dwellers.
Right. Well, there should be regional records somewhere around here.
I haven't need of official records or anything of the like. Just some light reading on the subject.
Light reading? What do you mean by that?
Oh, you know, books that cover things like what types of activities young people enjoy, how they spend their free time, popular fashions and trends, things of that sort. And even, perhaps, stories about romance.
oh my god.
Ah, I see what you're getting at. Try asking a traveling merchant. I hear they keep stock of books like that. As for here, I don't think you're going to find much aside from a bunch of stuffy records. We do get new books donated on a fairly regular basis, but instead of, well, you know.
My brother? I am afraid I do not follow.
Apparently, he directly approves every book before it's allowed to grace these shelves. You know, to make sure nothing inappropriate gets through.
I see. I did not realize he had a hand in such things. Well, I suppose it really is no use searching here.
Why were you looking for those sorts of books anyway?
Well, truth be told, I am not particularly well versed in the ways of ordinary people. Sedith never taught me of such things, and he strictly forbade me from spending much time out and about on my own.
Yeah, I had a feeling that might be the case. Sounds like Sedith.
I understand and appreciate that he acted from a place of concern, of course.
Without a doubt. It's obvious that you're his whole world, for better or worse. By the way, I've been wondering, are you two from a noble family? You've clearly had a rather high-class upbringing, and both of you have crests. That can only mean you come from a prominent bloodline, right?
Of course not. No, you are mistaken.
So, your refined way of speaking isn't because of your upbringing?
I was not aware that my speech differed so greatly from my companions. Do I really sound so formal to you?
Well, look, don't worry too much about it. I'm probably just overthinking things. Probably.
Poor Claude. Shamir has a C and a C plus.
There's really no better place for my midday nap than under the shade of a nice big tree.
Really?
The twittering of the little birds. It's like they're singing a lullaby just for me. God! Is that a dagger? Am I being ambushed?
Claude, why are you lazing about? You should be training.
Shamir! Was this your doing? Talk about unfriendly. Another inch and you would have sliced my handsome nose clean off my roguishly beautiful face.
But I didn't. Fortunately for you.
You know, if you wanted to give me a talking to, you could have done so with your words instead. That's how most people do the talking thing.
Conversation was not my intention.
What then? Prank? That's not better. I thought we were under attack. I could have died from the shock.
Look closely at the dagger.
Is that... Right. There's a poor spider impaled on it.
A poisonous spider. The tiniest bite from which can cause fever, headache, and relentless vomiting. Or worse.
Yikes. I guess this little guy is more vicious than he looks.
I noticed it descending towards your face.
Ah, so you saved me from a certain doom. Well, in that case, I'm sorry for questioning your motives. I promise to repay the favor someday.
I'll keep that in mind.
Wow, so that's what the greatest sniper of all the knights is capable of. Absolutely incredible.
I love how it actually addresses how skilled the character is.
Impressive as ever. It's always satisfying to see such skill in motion.
It's nothing to boast about. Just part of the job.
Sure, but I hear there isn't a knight out there who can match your skill at reconnaissance and infiltration missions.
Don't forget assassination and coercion. Is there someone you need killed?
Ooh, so violent. Why would you jump to that conclusion?
You went out of your way to find me. I thought you might need a favor.
And sorry to disappoint, but I didn't come to request an assassination. I just want to talk.
With me?
Of course. You've piqued my interest for a while now. A little birdie told me you were born in Dagda. Is that true? That's pretty far away, beyond even Bridget to the west. So, what brought you to Fodlan?
I worked as a mercenary in Dagda. That is until I was defeated in battle against the Empire and left for dead.
I see. I'm surprised they didn't take you as their prisoner.
I know how to conceal myself.
Yeah, of course you do. Still, with your particular skill set, couldn't you make your way back to Dagda whenever you please?
That is true. I could return if I really wanted. But Rhea took me in, and I owe her a debt. I also don't hate it here. For now, this is where I belong.
Where you belong, huh? That's heavy stuff. I wonder if this is where I really belong.
I wouldn't know. You need to figure that out yourself.
Just one more on it with Cyril. His fellow Almiran.
Hey there, Cyril. You're working hard as usual.
Nah, just doing my job.
Rhea herself gives you your daily tasks, doesn't she? The church employs a lot of people, but not too many of them can claim they get to speak with the Archbishop every day. You should be proud of yourself. She clearly values your work ethic.
Hey, is that everything you wanted to say? 'Cause I'm kinda busy here.
Actually, I was hoping to ask you about Rhea. There's so much we don't know about her, but I thought maybe you...
Yeah, I know more about Lady Rhea than anybody. But why should I tell you anything about her?
So cold. Think about who you're talking to.
Huh? What are you to me?
You don't know who I am?
Of course I do. You're Claude, House Leader of the Golden Deer.
That's not what I mean. Well, never mind that. Tell me, don't you ever miss your homeland?
Elmira?
Yes, Elmira. Judging by that expression, I'm guessing you're not terribly homesick.
Life was a whole lot harder for me there than it's ever been around here. My dad and mom both died in the war, and there was nobody there to look after me. The king, he didn't do anything to help, so I had to survive by being smart. I had to stop being a kid real quick.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You don't have to apologize. It's not your fault.
Regardless of whose fault it is, I'm still sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't even know that an acquaintance of mine was suffering. And sorry for asking a tactless question about your homeland. I should have known that it was likely to bring back bad memories.
Nah, I get sad or mad when I think about it, but I'm used to it, so I don't mind any.
I see that. Even still, I apologize for being careless.
Okay, well, thanks, Claude. If the king of Elmira was like you, maybe things would have been better. Maybe the king's not a bad person and just had other stuff to worry about. But that's not my excuse.
If I ever meet the king of Elmira, I'll give him a stern talking to on your behalf.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I gotta get back to work. Bunch of things to get done.
You really are on the other side now, aren't you? Huh. Well, if nothing else, it's good of you to turn a blind eye to me.
I don't know what that means, but okay. Bye, Claude.
Alrighty, that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell to join the notification squad. Peace out.